Hi, folks. You're with Tacitus Today. Tacitus Today, your pushback channel, and thank you for joining this audio live stream. In this essay, I'd like to talk about the issue around organ harvesting, and particularly in the United States, but it's going on elsewhere. The issue is, but certainly based on the reporting that I've seen, is that these organ harvesting groups are pretty eager to get on with it, and they're a little bit overzealous in identifying prospects or candidates, people that they want to take their organs away, and they're also rather reckless, I would say, when the candidate has been misjudged and they're actually not dead, or they're not going to die, or they're not brain dead, or they might even wake up as they're being prepped for the organ harvesting. And these people are the organ harvesters are quite reckless, or at least that appears to be the case, quite reckless, and they just go ahead with the procedure anyway. Now, people that are particularly exposed are those who are, say, homeless, or they've got no relatives, so there's no one going to come along and ask difficult questions, or they're the lowest of the low, people living in the lowest of the low trailer parks, that sort of thing, and people who aren't going to really make a fuss and can't and don't really, they've only got IQ of 80 or something. They're not going to be a problem. So they'll just kill someone, or bring forward the time of their death. Maybe there's a better way of putting it, in order just to get at the organs. Now, the claim is by some that there's somewhere between 20 and 25% of organ harvesting donors are actually being, let's call it what it is, effectively being murdered in order to get their organs. Now, again, they may be homeless people with no relatives, or people in some other ill state of health, or they're probably going to die, maybe pretty soon anyway. But on that basis, well, why don't we just, if they're not dead yet, why don't we kill them? Now, some of this is based on the timing and cost of putting together a team. Now, I came across this recently, which is why I've got some sort of knowledge of this. There was a medical group that was talking about they specialize in removing eyes and parts of eyes, like corneas and retinas, or whatever the case may be. That's their specialty, these guys. And they're saying they've only got a really short time window from the moment somebody dies to the time they can harvest the organs to a maximum level of efficiency. So over a period of time, the organ degrades. So if they don't get to it within a certain time, apparently freezing doesn't really work as well. If they get to the dead body quickly and can harvest in this instance parts of eyes, then the quality of the organ being harvested can be maintained, and you just get a better I don't know, cornea or retina, if you can do that. So that's the perfect sort of scenario. Anything other than that, then you've got a lower quality, so I'm told, a lower quality organ to donate, and you can't get as much money for it. So if you say, well, look, this organ was harvested within 5 minutes of the dude dying, or the person dying, then that's a high quality organ that you've acquired, and it can be maintained for some time in that level of quality, and that means you can demand bigger bucks for it. So now, all the organs, this applies to other organs, not just the cornea, but other organs. So when you get an organ harvesting donor or a candidate, assuming they've ticked some box on, say, their driver's license registration thing, then and apparently that there's not too much fuss over there. Have they agreed to donor status? Well, they're fucking dead. Who cares? Just take what that. So there's that as well. But this is, a whole team has to be sent. Let's suppose the body's going to have a number of organs here. Maybe there's a good quality kidney, or heart, or liver, or eyes, or this or that, or whatever can be harvested. Then it takes a whole team of specialists to be there already once to go. So it's like almost like a track running race or something. There's all these specialist surgeons and people to do this work and harvest all these organs, but they all have to be ready and lined up. It's an expensive business to get the equipment and the facilities and the operating room and all the necessary people with the specialist expertise to do it. Then you've got the standby facilities to do the transporting and the storage, and so it's actually quite expensive. So let's suppose you've assembled all these people. You've been told that Billy Bob there has just died, or he's going to die any minute now, or we're going to switch off the life support, then he'll be dead. So you've got to, so you assemble all these team of people ready, and suddenly Billy Bob just wakes up and goes, "Hey guys, what's going on here? I'm alive and well, and by the way, I want to go down the road and get a cappuccino." So you go, "Holy crap! They've spent a lot of money doing the preparing." Now maybe the fault lies in their misassessing or assessing the wrong donors and candidates. We think this guy will be dead tomorrow. It turns out he's not. But it's very expensive to put that team and all the preparation together. We're talking big bucks here. Now, if they get the organs, they sell the organs on for big bucks, that's all fine. But if the guy wakes up in the middle of it or before you get started, then there's a lot of incentive to just give him a fucking injection, just kill him, just fucking knock him out, and then we take all the organs off him, he'll be dead anyway. I mean, who cares? So there'll be a quick think about, well, okay, he's a homeless guy, he's got no relatives, no one's going to ask difficult questions. We effectively can kill him and take his organs, and no one's going to be, we can get that doctor down there to say, nah, he was dead anyway, he was brain dead anyway, and so on. So that's really the harsh real world economics and of it, that given the money involved. Look, his life is a worthless life anyway. Who cares if he fucking dies? I mean, seriously, the guy'd be dead anyway. He's on the street. He'd be dead anyway in a week or two. I mean, who gives a shit if we murder him today? He's effectively dead anyway. Would be the wider sort of consideration given to this. And this is pretty scary. I remember watching movies, in the 80s and 90s. I think Ice-T was in one of them. Rutger Hauer was in it, I think, where there's a group, a special homeless shelter, or a homeless shelter in some city somewhere, and they identify people who have no relatives, and again, no one's going to ask questions. Then they pretend to give them a job and take them out into some wilderness, and the reality is that they're going to be hunted for sport. The most exciting hunts of all, apparently, is to hunt humans. I don't know. I can't get my head around it, but nonetheless, that's and so they give the guy like a hour head start or something, and then they come out with the idea of killing him. So they find homeless, again, people with no relatives there. So this organ harvesting, I sort of see it almost in that wider context of, we find people who don't matter, where their lives mean nothing, where they've got no relatives or anyone going to ask questions, and then we'll just kill them for sport, or in this instance for organ harvesting profit. So I think that's where it's at. So the safeguards against this sort of thing, I think need to be beefed up, something serious, because again, you've got a huge incentive for people to determine your life is meaningless, we'll kill you to get your organs, and that's not a good situation to have, that sort of value system that says we can do this with impunity, or hey, so we're killing this guy, murdering, who's got a worthless life, to harvest his organs to save people who do have a worthwhile life. What's wrong with that? There's a lot wrong with it, and I hope it gets fixed. You've been with Tacitus today at your Pushback channel. Thank you for listening.